Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the TLC Podcast. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by Mike. Mike, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Feeling a year older, body reminding me, some extra
Oh,
aches
yes.
and pains.
Happy
Yeah.
belated birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yes. 2 days
Making it-
ago?
Yeah, today, it was yesterday. It was
Yesterday.
August 15th. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Days just like blend
Oh, I
in.
know. Yeah, they all blend
I'm
together.
forgetting
Yeah.
if today's Wednesday, Thursday. I've started a whatnot business and
Oh, boy.
just trying to do live streams there too. And it's,
Oh, boy.
yes.
Yeah, so you're a busy guy. I know for me today I took off Monday and Tuesday, like my last two vacation days. My vacation resets in September. So I
Okay.
just figured what better time than right at my birthday. Just take the 2 days off.
Right.
And so today I've been completely thrown off all day thinking it was Monday and people have to tell me it's Wednesday.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so I was off Monday and Tuesday, and so I made it a point. I wanted to, for the first time in probably a couple of years, I sat and I watched Monday Night Raw live, and oh my god, I wanted to gouge my eyes out.
It's painstaking if you watch it live.
Like, it was so boring.
And this gets to me with all these WrestleMania pre-sale tickets.
Yeah,
The outrageous price. I had a talk with a good friend today.
yeah,
The ridiculous prices they are charging for this.
yeah. Oh yeah.
For a not that great product right now,
Mm-hmm.
it's really saying something.
I mean, to me, I'm starting to think that my best bet would be to. I still want to go because it's WrestleMania,
Right.
but I want to hold off and I want to get it off some of the resale, because I feel like when the card starts to come out, one of two things is going to happen. Either it's going to look like a stellar card and the prices are going to go up, or it's going to look like a crap card and the prices are going to go down.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking the gamble is to bet on them to go down.
And I think that's smart gambling sense right now.
And I typically don't have a lot of that. I try to gamble. I don't have much gambling sense, but yeah.
The only thing I can see, and I was discussing this today, is it depends where we're going with
Right.
the pictures. I mean, if it's Cody against Roman again, I think we're going to have a hot crowd. But if they
and I think that's probably what they're going to do.
If they try to do a Jey Uso Roman, then we're going to have a dog.
Yeah, I don't think that happens at all. I don't think there's any way that it's Roman and Jey Uso. I could see. Look, I tried to think about, like, if they're not doing Cody this year, which would be an absolute moronic thing, but this brings me back to why it would have been the smart thing to just have him win it this past year. Everything, it was the perfect storm. Like, and I remember thinking when he tore his pec, like, okay, like, so like I immediately did the timetable in my head and saying, okay, 6 to 9 months,
WrestleMania.
7 months is January. He'd be back for the Royal Rumble. And if he wins that and he headlines WrestleMania, you could have him win the title that night.
Right.
And to me, I don't think catching lightning in a bottle is so rare.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to have something just work out so well timing wise.
And to blow it.
And yeah, and to basically be like, hey, no thanks.
That was on them.
Yeah.
And I think that was a lot to do with Vince, because that's right when Endeavor was coming back and they wanted Vince in the fold. And
I think a good part of that is, like you said, with the sounds that they probably wanted Roman as still the face of the company as that was happening.
Right. And now the other problem is with Vince back in the fold, like with Shinsuke Nakamura challenging Seth Rollins. I'd love to see Shinsuke world title reign, but I don't see that happening now.
No, I don't think so. This reeks of a Rollins retains, and I still like. I've been wanting to say I want to see us like have a Seth Cody, and I wanted it to be where you wouldn't have a winner because I wanted Damian Priest to cash in during
Right.
that match, because that way you don't put the world title on Cody, because I don't want Cody to like the only belt I want Cody to win is the undisputed Universal Championship. I want him to beat Roman. And I want him to do it at WrestleMania.
Right.
If you're not doing that, then I'm not interested in pretty much a lot of your product.
Yeah. And
Because that guy paid his dues. He went out, he did exactly what you said to do. He went out, made a name for himself outside of the company, came back as the hottest free agent in the business, and as a total surprise at WrestleMania 38,
right.
blows the doors off. Like everybody was waiting for WrestleMania 39. Cody was going to have his crowning moment,
And then
and you drop the ball there.
right.
And if you're not putting the belt on him at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, then I got to ask what we're even doing here.
Exactly. And like, could they be bringing The Rock back for WrestleMania 40? God, I hope not. Because
I hope not too, because to me that moment needed to be at 39.
right. Because to me, it's like if you bring The Rock back, seriously, it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And
I mean, what are we doing? Like, is it going to be Cody and Seth for the world title at WrestleMania? I've seen Cody and Seth. I've seen it 3 damn times.
right.
And I don't need to see it again on a big stage. I'm fine again as it being like a secondary story, because
Right.
the main story in my fantasy booking would be him or Seth, excuse me, pronouns, pal. Seth dropping the title to Damian Priest in
Right.
a cash-in situation.
Right. So we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, the tickets they're gouging people for.
Yeah. I
I
mean, look, I was able to get in on a pre-sale through the Eagles. I got a pre-sale code. Actually, I think it was yesterday I got the code.
right.
And I went in and looked at it just to see what they were running, because I've got to wait till I get paid
Right.
on Friday. And I saw it and I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, several hundred to sit down low. And
Yeah,
they did a pre-sale today for Sunday.
right.
And I think up top in the corner was like 150 for Sunday.
I mean, look, if I'm sitting up top, like, I'm not going north of $3.
Right.
Like, I'm just not.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting down low, like, and I'm not saying ringside, because ringside, I know those are going to be ridiculous.
Right.
But if I'm sitting down low, lower level, I'd be comfortable with say 250, but I'd
Yeah.
grit my teeth. But like, I know I'm not getting lower level for that.
No. And I'm really interested to see what is going to happen in the future with all this, because this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And this is just.
Well, you got to read the market right now. I mean, there's a recession going on, whether people want to admit it or not. Like,
Right.
there really is one.
There's a huge recession going on. There's just not money. And the funny thing is, like, I see these guys who I used to work with without kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, oh, I got section 115, or like I got whatever.
Right.
I'm like, are you that foolish to spend that much money for a show that's not going to be that good this year?
Yeah, I wonder what this year's going to look like. Just again, based on the stars they have right now, who they're advertising, and what matchups they could package together.
Right.
You know, your main attraction is one that we already saw last year.
Yep.
Roman and Cody.
Right.
And like the only thing you can say is, oh well, this time will Cody finally finish the story?
Right.
And like, yes, that's a good attraction, but then I gotta ask, like, okay, well, what's the undercard? Like, what are you doing there that's any better than what you had last year?
Right.
Because Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos was fantastic.
Right.
Gunther versus Drew McIntyre and Sheamus was fantastic. Like, I just don't know what you can do to package this and make this look better than last, because you got to keep getting better and better. Like,
Right.
that's the idea. You want to keep improving. I just don't see where it's happening. You haven't brought in any new talent at all.
Mm-mm.
The guys that you've been trying, like the guys they had that were not a part of last year's WrestleMania that are on the current roster, I don't see anybody new being added. Like, why can't I?
Grayson Waller.
Sure, L.A. Knight. And L.A. Knight's great,
Right.
and I'm a big fan of his. Like, I love the Yeah movement. Like, it's
Yeah.
been fun. And I wanna put a pin. I want to get back to L.A. Knight in a second, but um, like who else? Like Bronson Reed. Like, you gonna get excited over a Bronson Reed match?
No.
I mean, maybe if they call up Carmelo Hayes, like I might get excited about a Carmelo Hayes call up, but like, who are we putting him in the ring with?
Right.
Like Carmelo Hayes, Austin Theory. You gonna come out of your seat for that matchup?
Probably not.
No. Like, Rey Mysterio is your United States champion. I was at WrestleMania 35 when Rey Mysterio lost the U.S. title in about 2.5 minutes to Samoa Joe, someone who doesn't work with the company anymore.
Right.
So I don't know what, like, I don't know what the plan would be here.
I'm perplexed. Like, I'm really, because I've been a lifelong wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to spend an arm and a leg. So, am I going to go one night?
See, that's something, and my wife has been very resistant to the idea of me going both nights. She's told me she's willing to say that I could go one night, and you know, and I was like, well, if I were to just go one night, would I like? Because the obvious answer is Saturday. Saturday's, I think, been the better night of the two nights since they've gone to the two nights of WrestleMania.
Okay.
But if I'm going Saturday, I'm not seeing Roman.
Right.
And if it's Roman Cody, I would like to be in the building for that one.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like, what are they going to do with this?
Right. Because it's like, and even the women's wrestling right now, I feel like Rhea Ripley, like they listen to the crowd and they put the world title on Rhea Ripley. This is to me another example of how you don't have enough stars to support two brands of women wrestling, let alone three with Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
Ain't that the truth when you look at it? Because right now, you got Rhea and a rotating door. I mean, she wrestled Indy Harwell for her first time back from injury. But then you go Rhea with a rotating door, and then it's Trish and Becky.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that they'll probably find a way to put Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley against each other at WrestleMania.
I think that
makes sense, and I guess that'd be good. Like, that moves my needle a little bit, but not enough to justify spending, a couple $100 each night.
You're right.
Like, because think about it. Like, you're not only buying the tickets for the show, you got to go down there and you got to park. You're going to have to get something to eat while you're there because these are 4-hour shows, and inevitably they're going to encompass a meal.
Right. Yeah. It's just, viciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I told myself when I went to WrestleMania 35, it was a once in a lifetime deal to go to WrestleMania.
Right.
And now I'm saying to myself 5 years later, oh, maybe twice in a lifetime.
Right. Because it's in our backyard.
Sure. And I did always say too that if it, when I went to New York, I always said if it came to Philly, I would go to that.
Right.
But I wouldn't travel again.
Correct.
And especially at the time, like I don't really know anybody else that was really that hardcore into it. As much as I love wrestling, like it was hard to get that excited when there was nobody else to get excited with.
Yes.
And honestly, it's kind of shocking that I held on as long as I did before I found you, Mike. So thanks for saving my wrestling fandom.
You're welcome. You are very welcome.
But man, like it's funny, we haven't even really gotten into anything from this past week. Like, what the hell were they doing? Like, what are we doing with Trish and Becky right now? Like, what was even the point of that?
It kind of reminds me of a song in the 80s. You spin me right round. It's just like the wheels just turned and they're just spinning, like trying to figure out how can we get another week out of this. We don't have enough star power. We need to pull these two in. And like that should have been a SummerSlam match.
Absolutely.
Let's face it.
I feel like this is going to be one of those stories that like 5 years from now, we're going to sit there and we're going to say, oh, yeah, Trish and Becky Lynch had this great story back in 2023. And we're going to be like, wait, hold on. So they were at SummerSlam 2023? No. They wrestled on Monday Night Raw.
They wrestled on Raw.
It's like, wait, what? Why?
And it wasn't even the main event.
No. That was the thing. I thought, I'm like, okay. But like, and when Trish came out with the face scar thing again, I thought, oh, it's like an homage to her and Lita.
All right.
And their Monday Night Raw main event. But it wasn't even the main event. Like, oh, are you kidding me?
It's like they're beating the Judgment Day horse. Like, I'm so sick and tired of every week. Oh, there's Finn and Damien are going to have tension. Finn and Damien are going to have tension.
Yeah, can we just have them have a match already?
Either let them have a match.
Can they just go to blows and then just say, hey, you know what? We're going to slug it out. We're going to have a match, the main event of Monday Night Raw. And maybe have JD McDonough as the guest referee. Maybe JD turns on Finn and Damian Priest and JD beat the crap out of Finn. And you can see, oh, wow, Finn must be out of the Judgment Day.
Or better yet, have surprise people. But, that doesn't go well with WWE trying to surprise fans.
Not anymore.
No, just have like JD and Finn and Gallows start a whole new faction.
I think that would be fantastic.
But what Gallows do I know?
Shows up on Monday Night Raw during the Priest Finn Balor match.
Right.
And they beat the snot out of Damian Priest.
Right.
Maybe Dominic comes out to try and play peacekeeper and Finn just gets that shit-eating grin. And then they beat the shit out of him too.
Right. And they just leave Judgment Day laying flat. And then this way you can...
And Mommy comes out and checks on Dom Dom and Dom Dom's a bloody mess. Priest is a bloody mess.
And, well, there's not going to be any blood involved.
Well, okay. Beat the snot out of them.
It's WWE. They don't do that.
Yeah, because that actually would be cool. That'd be a great AEW move.
Right. Yeah, that's an AEW move.
Yeah, which I'll tell you what. I'm wondering what we're gonna get at All In because I'm more excited about All In than I think I was SummerSlam.
Yeah, All In. I mean, we already have 4 matches now.
Yeah, the world title, the Young Bucks, FTR.
Right. Let's see here. There is. Oh, well, in the pre-show, we're going to have Aussie Open against MJF and Adam Cole.
Yeah, better than New Baby. Challenging for the Ring of Honor tag titles. That's awesome.
Right. Then we got FTR versus the Bucks. You got Sheeta versus Tony Storm versus Saraya versus the winner of tonight's match.
Which is going to be Britt Baker. It has.
Right. It has to be Britt. Then we got Darby Allin and Sting versus AR Fox and Swerve Strickland in a tag team coffin match.
So, okay, do they have to get both members in a coffin? Just one member? Like, do the two guys have to spoon in the coffin? Like, is it a big coffin?
I don't know. This is
Okay.
the first ever tag team coffin match. And then we got Cole against MJF.
Which I'm very excited. I'm wondering, like, if you're booking AEW and they tell you, okay, how do you want to book the championship match? Are you thinking, does Cole turn on MJF? MJF on Cole? Like, I mean, obviously they're facing each other, so it's got to be some kind of, like, you're going to have to do something because you already know they're facing each other. There's a competition there. So how do you determine a swerve? I assume Roderick Strong's going to have to be involved.
Right. Roddy's going to have to be involved.
I'm thinking Roderick Strong turns on Adam Cole and helps MJF retain the championship.
Ooh, that could happen. But then we've always heard Roddy say, don't trust them, don't trust them. Maybe Roddy helps Adam win and we get an undisputed elite heel run.
I think that'd be great.
And
what I think would be even better is if at the beginning of the show, in the pre-show, Better Than You Baby wins the Ring of Honor tag titles. And so they have to coexist. And maybe you have, Tony Khan come out and say, much like with Paul Heyman, with Chris Candido and Lance Storm, where it's like, you guys got to work together. You got to be a team. And if we sense that one of you turns on the other, you're fired.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do. Like
I think that could be cool. Like,
unless they do the heel turn during the tag team match to build up for the main event during the main event.
See, and I would get that, but I kind of want it to be during the main event. Like, I want to go in with, they're the Ring of Honor tag champions, and now they're facing each other for the AEW championship.
Yeah, I would like that, but something is making me think some sort of chicanery, tomfoolery is going to happen at the pre-show, and then we're going to go from there.
I mean, I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Roderick Strong gets involved, and there's some confusion, and Roderick basically plants the seed with Adam Cole,
right?
And then later in the night, maybe Roderick Strong turns on Adam Cole and helps MJF. Maybe all of a sudden you see, oh wait, hold on, no, Adam Cole's in on it with Strong, and they attack MJF and leave him laying.
It's going to be a night of twists and turns, I think.
Yes.
Or
I would say buckle up. An afternoon, yeah. I'll be over at your place by noon. We'll order some lunch and
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will invite myself over for All In.
Fine, that's fine. Yes. I'm just wondering what they're gonna do for All In.
Yeah, it's gonna be something. And man, so the day before, I've got Beer Olympics at Ryan's house. That's gonna be an event, and so there's a good chance I will be in not so good a shape when I arrive at your house on Sunday morning.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Good old Beer Olympics.
Yeah. We're trying to relive our 20s, apparently.
That never works out well.
No. I told him, just like, dude, if I bust a hip at the freaking Beer Olympics, this is not going to be cool.
Right. Yeah. The 40s, you can't rewind to the 20s. Maybe
no, not at all.
No.
like if anything, I'm more looking forward to like the senior citizen discount at the grocery store,
Correct.
joining AARP, all the things that us late 40s something. Well, I'm mid 40s, but well, the
Yeah, I
40s.
haven't thought about AARP yet. I mean, that's one thing. I was going to do it for my brother for his 50th,
Well, yeah.
but then he told me he did it anyway. So yeah, he stole my thunder.
That's fantastic.
Yes, he was looking forward to all the discounts.
Oh yeah, dude! On my 50th birthday, I will be first in freaking line to get all the AARP, all those discounts and stuff.
Larry.
Yeah, I will. I will be absolutely shameless about it.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. I will embrace the shit out of being an old man.
There you go. You're going to be yelling at the neighbors.
Get off my lawn!
Get off my lawn.
That's right. I will be that cranky old man.
They're going to be like, who's this crotchety son of a bitch?
Isn't he like 45? Look at him. He looks great.
Right. Yeah.
I'm 50. Shut up.
Shut up. Leave me alone. Oh, boy.
Keep the noise down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Trying to go to bed. Sir, it's 5 o'clock.
Exactly. And with your work schedule, you got to be up at.
Yeah, I do have to be up butt ass early.
Right. So that'll play into your cards.
Which is always fantastic because like I said, I had a couple days off. So last night, first night going back to work, of course I lay there staring at the ceiling. Like, son of a bitch, gotta be up in 4.5 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, like I said, like I'm actually really excited. This will be the first AEW event I'll be able to watch because normally they're on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, and I have to get up the next day for work.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna order a show that like I'll have to watch after I get home from work, which I suppose I could. I could just make that my Monday tradition.
Right. But
oh,
who wants to do that?
right.
If you're going to pay money to see it, you want to see it live. So
Exactly.
you know what has gone on.
Exactly. That's why, like, I love WWE moving their shows to Saturday. Fantastic move.
Yes.
And when they did that, I didn't even think of it. Like, of course, I thought about how selfishly that helps me, but man, that really helps out your international audience, like the European audience that had to stay up to like 3-4 in the morning on Monday morning. Like that must have sucked.
Yes. Yeah, that I can imagine.
I couldn't imagine being like, because I get up 4:15 every day. Like that's insane to me.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine being like, oh, I'm going to get up at midnight. I'm going to go to bed Sunday night. Oh, Sunday family time, hanging out with the kids, and like, all right, kids, I'm going to bed at freaking 6 o'clock so I can wake up in 6 hours and watch a wrestling show.
I know it's really interesting how they do that.
Yeah. God bless them for all the international audience that was. Not only did they do that, man, they are some of the most engaged audiences.
They really are.
I am really looking forward to seeing that all in crap. And can we stop with this narrative that like this is somehow competition between them and WWE, and how like if you're a fan of AEW, you can't like WWE and vice versa. Like, can we stop with that narrative?
It's stupid at this point.
Yeah, like just root for the success of the company. If you don't like their product, turn it off.
Exactly. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. Like nobody's gonna sit there and make you watch it.
Right. No one's gonna say because you're a wrestling fan, you have to watch everything.
No. In fact, I've now taken to the idea that like I want to prioritize each show. Like every week, because we talk about what is it, like 14 or something hours every week of a non-pay-per-view week.
3, 2, that's 5, 7, 9, 11, 16 hours.
Oh Jesus!
If my math's correct, because You'd go Raw.
Raw's 3 hours.
Then
2
you
hours
go
for NXT.
2 hours NXT, 2 hours for Dynamite.
Yep, that's 7.
That's 7. Then Thursday you got 2 hours of Impact, 2
9.
hours of Ring of
9.
Honor.
Yep,
Then you got 2 hours of SmackDown.
13.
Then you got an hour of Rampage. Can't forget that.
14. Yeah.
And then you got 2 hours of Collision.
16 hours.
Excuse me, 17. How can we forget the all-important WOW Women of Wrestling on
Yeah, I haven't watched that in a while. I haven't. It DVRs every week, and every week I'm just like, nope, delete.
I took it off my DVR.
Yeah, I don't know how to get it to turn off my DVR, so just every week I have to delete it.
I don't know what possessed me at first to get back into that because I know David McLean at this point. This is his 3rd attempt.
Yeah.
And each time it's worse, if that's possible.
Yeah. And it's funny because I liked it when Tessa Blanchard was there.
Right.
Like, I thought that was pretty good.
Right, and then
Tessa and Jungle Girl, I thought that was a good feud.
Right, but then she's got her own problems, Tessa, and then the pandemic stuff. I didn't even count that because they left for the pandemic, but then they came back, so I just count that as the 3rd attempt.
Sure.
All in one.
Yeah.
By the time you put Glow and then WOW when we were younger and now WOW now, I mean, he's already had enough.
Yeah. I feel like, man, it's wrestling fatigue at that point when I get to WOW, like it's typically like I've watched everything and I'm very proud of myself and very happy. Oh, I achieved all this. I watched all these shows this week. And then it's like I see that episode of WOW. I'm like, man, fuck you trying to make me watch more.
Yeah, I'm just like at that point, my mind's just like
I can't devote any attention to it.
Can't do it.
Nah. Like even if it's on, I'm just sitting here playing like a game on my phone or something.
Right. That's all you can do at this point.
Yeah.
Because it is fatigue. It is chronic fatigue at this point. You were saying how you watched Raw for the first time live in several years.
Yeah.
I cheat. I cheat real bad with Raw. I have to at this point.
Oh, I don't blame you at all.
I just hit the fast forward button after. Because as soon as they started talking, I'm like, oh, Damien, and here we go about Finn. And then JD.
Yeah, I'm not interested in it anymore. Either have a match and like just call it like, hey, look, you know what? We're a couple of alpha males. We're having a disagreement. Let's fight about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For some reason, they're just not doing it.
It's like, I get it. I get it. They don't want to commit to breaking up the group. And I feel like that's what it is. Like WWE is like really hesitant on trying to break up this group.
Right.
But it's either break it up. And like you said, I loved your idea of calling up Gallus and having Gallus take Finn Balor's back and along with JD McDonough. And they leave Damian Priest and Dominic, in a heap.
Right.
And you could have Rhea sitting there and kind of dumbfounded, and it's like, okay, what's she gonna do?
Right.
And the next week on Raw, you could have a tease where Finn Balor comes out and says, "Mommy, come take your place alongside us."
And then
she comes out, and maybe she could be like, "No, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not abandoning Damien and my Dom Dom, yada yada." And it's gonna be Priest and Dom Dom versus, I don't know, Finn and we can say the guy who's always managing the other Coffee brother,
Joe.
Yeah, so that way you're not breaking up the other tag team from Gallus,
right?
And so Finn and him versus Dominic and Damian Priest, and maybe during the match, like I would have Rhea Ripley turn on Dom Dom and join the Finn Balor group.
Right, yeah. Or do they have Damien take over as the leader because he is Senor Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
And have like an own group and they kick Finn out and then Finn has to bring someone to watch his back.
I could see that too. I think that would be entertaining.
And I'm just like, they gotta, the kids aren't in, so I could say it. They gotta either shit or get off the pot with Gallus. With Judgment Day. It's like, come on, you're holding it in too long. Let's just
Yeah, or what? I was saying Coffee and Finn. Well, JD McDonough and Finn versus. Yeah, that would actually probably be better for that role.
That it would.
Then you can just have Gallus in like another tag match. Maybe even take on like the New Day or Drew and Riddle. What's your thoughts on the Drew and Riddle tag team? Like, are you tired of the everything with Bro? Like,
I am just so tired of that. It's just, how many times can you hear bro? Like, give him something different. But I get it. Like, I get that they don't want to push him any further along because of his personal issues and he's a handful.
Sure.
But why saddle Drew down with him?
Yeah, I would love to see like maybe New Day catches him like in a small package or something like that, and they pin him, and then maybe Drew turns heel, gives him a Claymore.
That would work.
And then we could have a few like the two of them battling some, and like maybe even Drew's ready to leave him laying, and then you hit Randy Orton's music. Randy comes out and attacks Drew.
That might work.
I mean, it could be a different way to do something, and you don't have to then. You're not strapping the rocket ship to Riddle and sending him to the moon because he's got so many personal issues.
Right.
And by personal issues, we mean he's a scumbag who beat his wife.
I wasn't going to get into that.
But I mean, yeah, that's to me. That's what it sounds like. It's like, bro, you're a scumbag. Bro, you're a scumbag, and you beat your wife.
It happens.
Like, look, we all know. I mean, you're a married man. I'm a married man. We both know that it's not always pretty.
No.
But you can't do that. Like, there's just a line you just don't cross. One, my wife would kick my ass, so I know I can't do that.
Right.
And two, if she didn't, her dad is a retired police officer. Her brother is a police officer. Like, I am toast if I were to do anything like that.
Right. Yeah.
But and your boy ain't gonna do. I'm not gonna be like Dom running the yard in prison.
No. Yeah, you probably wouldn't go too well together.
No.
Yeah.
I'd be lucky to be Bubba's boy. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. But boy, that took a weird turn.
That really went down a
we really went downhill in a hurry.
You did.
It didn't take long. All we had to do was start talking about Matt Riddle and his issues. But to me, I would think the better way to do that is to position, Randy and Drew. And man, it'd be interesting because now Randy can take on more of the babyface role and Drew the heel in this encounter.
Right.
Between the two, whereas before it was quite the opposite.
Right. So we got plenty that we can do if they want to. If Randy's ready to come back, or Randy versus Drew feud, okay, I can see why we're doing this.
Sure.
But other than that, I mean, are we just killing time at this point?
It kind of feels that way.
It really does. It's
I'll tell you what I would like to see. And I don't think they're going to do it because it would involve them pushing Matt Riddle, which I know, and like we just talked about, why they won't. But man, I wouldn't mind seeing Riddle and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that
That
either.
was something that was teased a few years ago, basically by Matt Riddle.
Right, yeah.
And good work on him in that regard. You know, put
Yeah.
yourself out there.
Trying to get yourself out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use social media the way it was intended and see if you can get yourself into something, and you can work yourself into something.
Yep.
And I feel like that's what he was trying to do. And what, like the Royal Rumble in 2020, was I the only one waiting for Matt Riddle to come out while Brock Lesnar was out there?
Oh no, I think everyone was wanting to see that,
Yeah.
but we didn't get that.
No, and of course we had the confrontation in the back where Brock was like, "Dude, I'm never working with you. Knock it off."
Right. Yeah.
It'd be great now. Brock's just because Brock does seem like he's taken over a new leaf.
It does.
Like apparently that whole thing with Brock uh, shaking Cody's hand at SummerSlam, like that was all impromptu.
Yeah. It was Brock just doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, Brock's gonna do Brock things.
No one's going to stop him either.
You know, and it kind of gives me credence to the whole like. And I know Paul Heyman was trying to work with this interview where somebody said to him like, "Well, it was really dumb to have Brock win over the Undertaker at WrestleMania. They shouldn't have had him do that." And Paul goes and says, "What if Brock, as this ultimate combat athlete, just decided, screw you, buddy, I'm going over tonight."
Right.
What if Brock just said, "I'm going to make this happen.
Right.
It's going to be legitimate."
Yeah.
And because he knows Vince can't fire him because he just broke the Undertaker streak.
Right.
And what if that's the reason for the delay with the playing the music? Because it's like, crap, guys, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Exactly.
And what if Brock just did that? Now, I don't think Brock did that. I think that was purely a planned thing. Like, and we've heard interviews where everybody's talked about how Brock didn't want to break the streak, and the Undertaker had to talk him into it.
Right.
And even though Undertaker may now feel like it was something that Brock didn't need, and I think he's right, and I thought it at the time too. I didn't think Brock needed to break the streak.
No, it should have went to someone who really needed it at that.
Like, I think Roman would have been the perfect candidate to have broken it. Then, not now.
Right.
Now Roman's completely over, and it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Going back further, I think Randy Orton should have done it at like 22 when they wrestled.
Yeah, well, apparently they were going to have Edge do it, but Edge refused.
Right.
Yeah, Randy was the first one that they thought, hey, wait, he could do it.
Right. Well, supposedly that Ted DiBiase was thrown out there to do it.
Ted DiBiase Jr.?
Jr., yeah. That's how high they were on him.
Yeah, I know, man. They were really high on him.
Right.
He was somebody, and I could tell that he didn't have the heart to stay in the business. Like, it was not going to be something long-term for him.
No, it was kind of like Dad did it. I'm going to try it.
And I think it was like, okay, Grandpa died in the ring.
Right.
My dad did it. Like, I don't want to be I don't want to tempt fate. And
right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also think he was another example. And I know, like, he stayed in the business long after the Benoit tragedy, but I do think that woke a lot of people up.
I think so.
Like, the effects of concussions. And, like I heard Rene Dupree talk about it, that he was just, like, that he basically had to talk Vince McMahon and just sending him home because he said, hey, man, do you want another Chris Benoit on your hands? He's like, because that's where I could see myself ending up if you keep me going out here.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that right away, Vince was, okay, you're off the road.
Okay, you take some time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a hard life.
Oh, yeah. I have no doubts that is a very challenging life. Because we only see the good.
Right.
We see them, WrestleMania, the highest of highs, which is the reason why they do it. We don't really see when they're riding, driving all night from bumblefuck Iowa to bumbler-fuck Nebraska.
Right, exactly.
And, so they can, make a town and, you know, they drive all night Saturday so they can work an afternoon show on Sunday.
And then go do an afternoon.
Drive to Monday Night Raw. Yeah.
No, yeah, that we don't see.
Mm-mm. And when they do that, like in October, when it's nowhere near WrestleMania season, they're working middle of the card, both weekend shows, and then yanking the curtain on Monday Night Raw, or working a dark match on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
and that's all they get that night. And
the main event. We forgot to talk about the main event. I mean, that's on Hulu and the network.
Is that even on still?
Yeah, that's still on.
Oh, I haven't watched that in the longest time.
Now they're kind of mixing it up from what I've heard. They're kind of doing like Raw versus NXT here and there. Like they're trying to put some NXT people on the main event here and there to try to get closure. I don't know.
Speaking of NXT, did you get to watch last night's NXT yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Very, very good watch. I enjoyed it.
I haven't seen it yet. So I'll probably either watch it tonight, tomorrow. It depends. Mm-hmm. I have a board meeting for my son's soccer league, so that's always a fun time.
That sounds like a blast.
And we're going to get ready for our intramurals, which is starting in September, October.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. And then, so I got to see what time I get home from that. And do I feel like doing anything else?
There's always the do I feel like it thing.
Do I feel like it?
And I'll tell you, like WWE anymore has felt like a chore the last little bit.
It really is. It's like, do I feel like watching anything? And then I'm trying to catch up. My wife, being her, decided we were watching Ted Lasso together. She ran 3 episodes on me one night that I fell asleep and she couldn't. So I got to catch up with that. So
I haven't watched Ted Lasso yet. Is that a good show?
I enjoy it.
Okay.
Yes.
A lot of people have told me they thought I would enjoy like the kind of sense of humor. It's the kind of humor I enjoy. Yeah.
Yes. It's a good show.
Okay.
Yeah. About football.
Yeah, football. Right, the European style.
The global style, besides America. Yes.
Yeah, the non-American football.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been watching Quarterbacks on Netflix.
Okay.
There's only 1 episode left. It followed Patrick Mahomes with Marcus Mariota and Kirk Cousins, and throughout the entire season. And there's only 1 episode left, and it's all about Mahomes and in the Super Bowl. And I don't know that I'm ready to watch it yet.
Something bad happened that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if anybody who follows me on social media knows I didn't exactly take that loss in stride.
No.
Yeah, no.
No. That was a tough one for. Yeah.
But on that note, we can go ahead and call it a night. I do want to tell everybody I know I've been working on my favorite feuds. Rivalries.
Yes.
For our next list. So that should be coming out soon. I think I'm about 20 or 25 deep in my feuds. I've
started to brainstorming. I wrote a bunch down. Now it's kind of like...
Yeah. I breezed through about like 15 of them, and then I was like, okay, and I got like stumped, and I'm like, all right, what else do I want to put in there? Like,
it's a tricky one because... Mm-hmm. Again, it's like, how far do we go back?
Well, I wasn't going to put any parameters on it, however far you want to go back.
Okay, because that opens the door up to some of the territory rivalries that were huge.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll go ahead and tease it. I imagine it'll be on your list, the Freebirds and the Von Erichs.
That's going to be high on my list.
Mine as well.
Obviously. Yeah, I'm just trying to, because if we go back, I mean, there's a golden feud 10 years before we were born, with Dory Funk Jr. against Jack Briscoe for the NWA World Title.
So now that is my homework assignment for tonight, is to go back and watch some of those matches. I was actually watching Starrcade 85 yesterday before I went over to my stepmother's for dinner.
Oh, wow. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 84, that one's kind of very weird.
Yes. I remember, because I at one point was dead set on I was going to watch the Starrcades much like I do the WrestleManias, and I was going to watch them all. I got 2 in, and trying to keep up with the everyday wrestling, and
yeah. When you watch 84, you hit the button of what was going on here.
Yeah, I just didn't understand. Like, does he know he's supposed to stop the match because of the blood law? Like,
does he know he's supposed to stop the match? Another thing that really got to me, and now we've opened up this wormhole that we probably shouldn't have, but here it is. How is it the NWA World Tag Team Champions do not defend the titles that night?
Yeah, I don't get that at all.
I mean,
get it at all. Yeah.
I mean, when you look at who it was at that time, it's like Dusty Rhodes and Manny Fernandez.
Yeah.
It's like you have them both in singles matches. Dusty's headline. By that point, I get it. Rock and Roll Midnight are still in Mid-South.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you have had the title on somebody else by that point? Because you just did the Kernoodle turn. Because Ivan and Kernoodle had the belts until Kernoodle got pinned and Nikita attacked him. And wouldn't you, by that point, somehow have had Ivan and Nikita take the titles back?
You would think. And see, this is why I brought it up, because I knew you'd run with it. God bless you. I knew you'd go right there to the tag titles.
What can I say?
Yeah, that was one of the first things I thought of when I saw Starrcade 84. Because you have to remember, in the early and mid 80s, I was 4 years old.
Right.
So, I wasn't dialed in to the stories of the day.
Right. Yeah,
You just can't rush that. Well, on that note, I think we're going to call it a show now. I know, because earlier you said you could probably do about 45 minutes. We've done 55.
Right. And I don't know where my family is, and we just had Bark Fest again.
Oh, I figured that was your family coming home.
That's what I thought. But this dog is the world's biggest moron. And if someone's walking by the house, I have to put up with this.
Okay.
I don't like this dog. I'm the first one to say it. I don't like her.
No.
She's annoying.
Sure.
Once we have the corner lot, we had to put her. We have a fence, but we had to put her on a leash because she'll go through the bottom of the fence.
Oh, jeez.
And she will not stop barking until someone is out of her line of vision. She's mental.
Yeah. I imagine she'll love me when I get there.
She'll sit there and see. The thing is, I just have given up with this.
Sure.
Yeah, we're going to the shore of my in-laws' house this weekend. Oh, there you are, you schmuck. You want to bark all the time.
She knows you're talking about her.
There's 6 people and 7 dogs that are going to be there.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Because my in-laws have 2 Yorkies and 2 Great Danes.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be a fun fest.
Well, what you do is you say you don't like that dog, just cut her loose and let nature run its course.
If I tried that, I would not hear the end of it.
Oh yeah. Well, that's where you gotta make it look like an accident. Come on, I'll help you with it. We'll destroy this evidence of the video, and
There you
nobody's watching, right?
go. Yeah, our
No,
viewers.
guys, we're not really promoting any violence on dogs. We love our dogs.
No, I've thought about like just walking her to the SPCA one day. It's like, when my family comes home, somehow she
ran away. I don't know what happened.
What do I know?
Maybe.
Imagine no one called me.
Yeah, of course, nobody called. You didn't get one of those chips in her, did you?
She came microchipped. We bought her at a pet store. I'm just like, shoot.
Yeah. She's like, wait, hold on. Her chip keeps showing up at the pound.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I had to put up with.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, it's just me and the wife here at home.
That's
no pets, no kids.
Right.
It's pretty awesome.
That it can be.
Right. Tell the family I said hello and that I like all of them. And
there you go. Shall do.
All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in and putting up with our shenanigans tonight
for another week.
I feel like we should also thank our spouses for putting up with us for another week.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
And check back with us next week. We'll keep reviewing everything. We'll give our previews for next weekend will be our go home edition before All In.
All right. Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to predict that card.
And hopefully they give us more than what they do.
Yeah, I would imagine we should get some more information tonight.
Yeah. Yeah,
because that just makes sense.
That's one thing they're terrible at, I have to say. They will do let's just announce 5 matches, and then like between the next Dynamite and Rampage, they like throw 5 more matches on you.
And it's like, whoa, like I don't know how many times I've heard like, oh, the Casino Battle Royal. I'm like, wait, hold on, there's a Casino Battle Royal?
They do that all the time.
Yeah.
All right. So we shall see.
Yeah. And I wonder if they'll do Battle Royal one week and then because we have next week's the Go Home edition for All In, and then the next week we have the All In recap and Go Home edition for All Out.
It's a lot of Go Home editions.
Yeah.
And considering All Out's still 1 match on the card, it should be interesting.
That is going to be interesting how they're going to build that whole show basically in a week.
Yeah. I really
have a great night. Mike, anything to add before we get out of here?
I'm good.
All right. Sounds good to me. Happy wrestling, everybody.